Hello everybody and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be showing you something quite small, but it's hilarious, trust me, to do with a trick you can play out involving the Mesmer in Guild Wars 2. This is actually a trick I've known about for a long time, but currently over on Reddit there are a lot of threads going on with secrets about different classes and weird quirky mechanics. In the Mesmer specific thread there was something about this trick which again I didn't know of, but made me realize you could do some crazy stuff with it. I'd love to share it with you guys. You know, I did the thing on the legendary weapon aura stacking that a lot of people seem to take to. So here, check this out. Hopefully you guys will get a bit of a laugh and can try out some weird stuff for yourselves. The trick is mainly to do with Scepter main hand on the Mesmer. Scepter as a main hand weapon, especially if you only PvE, you can see I've only got a green one here. I just don't bother with a weapon. If you only PvE, you're not really going to play with Scepter too much. It offers a little bit of utility, you know, got a block, one of the rarer condies in the game, Torment, but not too much going with it. But it does have a very cool mechanic that we're going to be exploiting here. And that is on the auto attack, namely the third different skill on the auto attack chain. Just like many classes get, if you are auto attacking on a Scepter with a Mesmer, you don't just have one ability, which as you can read here is Ether Bolt. It actually cycles. First it goes Ether Bolt, then it goes Ether Blast, then it goes Ether Clone. You'll see Ether Bolt and Blast are literally the same ability. I don't know why the devs decided to have two different ones there. Maybe they just wanted it to be longer while you cycle through the chain. But the third attack while you are auto attacking is unique, okay? And I'll demonstrate the auto attack to you guys just now. Well, I guess we'll do it on this Firefly here. It's just a regular bolt of damage. There you go. One attack, as you can see, a tiny bit of damage. Not really very interesting in any other way. It will do that twice before going to the third attack on the chain, which is described as summoning a clone. Now, this isn't something new to Mesmers. A lot of their abilities summon clones. What's really cool about this is it's a clone summon attached to a projectile. So here, I'll let the auto attack chain go all the way through. One bolt, there's the blast, and the third one will summon another version of me. It's just a clone, so it does very little damage, and it's largely uninteresting. When we kill the enemy that the clone was summoned on, it disappears. For regular gameplay, why would you care about this? The trick is, though, that this is a projectile attack. If I do it one more time, you will see that it's one of these bolts, one of these little blue, purple orbs coming out, and eventually when it lands, that's when it summons the clone. It's not like some instant activation summon like you'd see with, say, Greatsword 4 here, which I just did, which is just not attached to a projectile at all. Why does this being attached to a projectile mean something? It means that it can be reflected. What happens if I cast an Ether Clone, use that third attack on the auto attack chain, on an opponent, say in PvP, who is reflecting? Well, he reflects the projectile, and then when it comes back and hits me, I didn't just summon a clone, my enemy summoned a clone. This, as I say, I've actually known about for a long while, and it's a cool little functionality, a nice little thing, you know. You'll sometimes be playing, and in very rare situations, you'll see, whoa, I'm playing as my Elementalist or as my Thief, and for some reason I've summoned a clone. How did that happen? It's because you've actually managed to reflect this thing here, this auto attack, because barely anyone uses Scepter. Yes, it's more prominent in PvP now, especially with PU and stuff. It was something very rare to see. That, for me, was the trick in its entirety. But I'll swap to some footage now of me testing this out with my friends in PvP of just how crazy this thing can go, owing to the fact there is one oversight. That oversight being, there's no cap on the amount of clones you can summon. And here you can see me demonstrating this right now. See, as a Mesmer, you can have 3 clones or phantasms out at once. They're represented by those white dots where your F keys would be, say, on any other class, right? Or next to where distortion and so forth are. They've capped it specifically at 3 so that the Mesmer isn't crazy overpowered and can summon an army for themselves, right? That makes perfect sense. However, because I'm an Elementalist right now in this footage, and I'm the one doing the summoning, that cap isn't in place. I would have expected, and I never would have thought this myself, I would have expected that to have just been a raw cap applied to all characters. But why would they have done that? And so you can test out for yourself. Our setup here is I've got my friend auto-attacking me every now and then on Scepter. I'm wielding a staff on my Elementalist and using my staff 3 in Earth Achievement, which reflects the projectiles. And you can see every time he does this, it's making more and more clones of mine, to the point where it starts getting very difficult for him to survive. My clones act just as, say, Mesmer clones would mechanically. So when they are created, they have some of my base stats. I, of course, don't have traits to boost these clones. They don't take things like base damage modifiers from me, such as, you know, the 10% more damage while I'm at high health, but there certainly are a lot of them. You can even do weird things also by, say, dyeing your armor before spawning more, and you even get a bit of a multicolored effect going on here. You can see I've got some red clones out, I've got some yellow and black ones out, and I've got some of my default armor ones out there. You can keep going. This is definitely the kind of thing that's going to get patched out at some point. I mean, this kind of behavior can break servers. If you were to seriously coordinate something like this in Wild vs. Wild, I don't even want to imagine. But of course, they can be cleaved out very easily since they are clones. It's very interesting, though. We decided to take it a step further, though, when, as you can see here, he mowers me. When I got mowed, it gave me a very interesting idea. What if I had just popped my reflect ability, then he mowed me, then he auto-attacked me to reflect a projectile and spawn a clone? Since the dyes were changing the new clones that were coming out, what did this mean if my entire form had changed? Now, it turns out you can pop a tonic, say a costume brawl tonic, and that will still work. When a new clone is summoned, instead of coming out as a copy of Liss here, it would come out as whatever costume brawl tonic that would be, and it would use its costume brawl abilities too. That means you can spawn, say, 2 costume brawl enemies and they will fight one another in costume brawl, entirely done through the AI. This I didn't try in the footage though. I decided to go even a step further, and I wondered what would happen if I was, say, in tornado form. So here you go, you can see us going for the setup. I'm going to pop my magnetic wave and then instantly go into tornado, so I'm a tornado reflecting projectiles. He's going to auto-attack me a couple of times and we'll see what happens. There's the first, there's the second, and there is the third. What do you know, we have a tornado out, a tornado clone of me that has the passive buff that a regular tornado would have, as in it does high ticking damage. There you just saw 4,190 damage that pulses every now and then next to him, even killing him. It doesn't seem to have the CC component that the regular tornado would have, like it's not blowing him out in any way, but it does keep going. What's interesting about this is while I'm in tornado form, my tornado active effect does eventually wear out. It goes away. I don't get to be in a tornado for very long, but for whatever reason, this clone doesn't do such a thing. So in theory, if we wait for my full cooldown here, you know, of 180 seconds or so, we could summon another tornado, and then another tornado. There's a lot of crazy stuff you can do here. Later on, the tornado, say, was getting a little bit low here. You can see me healing it up, and as I heal it, what happens? I can even do combos with myself. I'm spamming out tons of healing bolts there, and as you can see here, I'm testing out with, say, lava fonts to create burning bolts, or a frozen ground to create chilling bolts. The last thing we tried, presuming it would work, say, on Necromancer 2, was we wanted to try it with Lich form. Thing is, with Necromancer, as far as I'm aware, or I'm thinking of right now, they don't have any easy access to reflects, certainly not while they're in Lich form. Luckily enough though, Elementalist can share his reflective aura out by going 30 in water, and so this is the setup we use. My friend here is going to pop Lich form, I'm going to share a magnetic aura to her, we're going to summon a clone, and hopefully have a big nasty Lich form running around. There you go, she pops it there, I share the aura across. My Mesmer friend actually time warps as well in the hopes of getting 2 Liches out. Doesn't quite work. But yeah, so there you go, there's another Lich form. And not only does it, most of the time you've got to consider, guys, clones and phantasms in Guild Wars 2 for Mesmers, they only have one ability. Like, they'll stand there auto-attacking, or they'll use their one ability, say the Phantasmal Barrage, or if they're a Berserker, they'll use Whirlwind Attack, and that's it. Turns out, though, if they have access to many skills, such as a Lich form would, it changes the entire bar, the AI will make them use all of the skills. Here you can see it summoned a bunch of Jagged Horrors, it's using the 3 there as a big blowout, it uses its marks, it seems to have struggle auto-attacking somehow, it doesn't realise that as a ranged auto-attack, but it does go full-on. That is a full-on Lich form that, yeah, has the crappy AI in the game, but it's using everything it can, and that is very curious to me. Anyway, there you go, guys. That's the trick. I hope you enjoyed a little bit of something to brighten up your Sunday. I will be having another Crayon lore going out later, this time on Wildstar, but that will be in a few hours. In the meantime, hope you guys enjoyed this. Thanks very much for watching, and enjoy before it gets inevitably nerfed. See you next time.